Words of the district attorney, the crime ripped the heart out of the community.
2 young boys killed after a box truck driver crashed into their mother's car. In tonight's Crimes of the Cape Fear, WECT's Ann McAdams takes a look back. Ann?
Fran, investigators realized too late the truck driver was likely high at the time of the crash. Even then, the parents of the boys who died forgave him. Their inspiring response following the loss of their sons captured the world's attention. On May 23, 2015, the Eddings family, visiting here from Charlotte, was leaving a wedding in Surf City. The weekend celebration turned tragic when a box truck plowed into them at a stoplight on Highway 17. 2-year-old Dobbs was killed instantly in his car seat. His mother, Hadley, 8 months pregnant, was thrown against her steering wheel.
She was taken to New Hanover Regional Medical Center, where Reed was delivered and was alive. And after a couple of days, he succumbed to his injuries. So unfortunately, we had not 1 but 2 children who were killed.
The man driving the box truck had been looking down eating a sandwich just before the crash. He was arrested for misdemeanor death by motor vehicle. But it wasn't until hours later at the jail he reportedly told deputies he was in severe pain from heroin withdrawal. By the time authorities could get a blood sample, it was too late. The lab results only showed trace amounts of fentanyl.
He could not be charged with impaired driving because we didn't have evidence of impairment, and more to the point, fentanyl at the time was not considered to be an impairing substance under North Carolina law.
What could have been a crime punishable by more than a decade in prison was now just a misdemeanor. The news devastated investigators who felt like they'd let the Eddings family down. But amazingly, the Eddings were much more focused on showing mercy to the man who'd killed their sons.
They wanted to personally meet with him to forgive him.
I have my story of mistakes, and I've hurt people in my life, and I know that I need forgiveness. And so being in touch with that, and I know God calls me to pass that out as I've been given.
6 years after the crash, the Eddings still have so much concern for the other driver, they asked WECT not to name him in this story, afraid it might be a setback in his continued recovery.
There's no way that this happened and he didn't feel bad. Like, we know that this wasn't on purpose. Obviously, like, we're grieving this incredible loss, but on the other side of things, you feel for him in a lot of ways. Living with the guilt that you would probably carry from something like that can't be easy. I don't want anyone to hurt for the rest of their life because of the mistake that they made.
The driver admitted guilt and threw himself on the mercy of the court. He told the Eddings he wished he could trade places with their sons. But the district attorney said as a matter of public safety, his responsibility was still to punish the driver to the maximum extent allowed by law. But that is not the end of this story. In 2017, Hadley and Gentry got pregnant again.
And we wanted to show you a picture from the ultrasound. There's 2 babies.
Isaiah Dobbs and Amos Reed were each given a middle name of a brother who had passed away.
They know who Dobbs and Reed are. They know, that they live in heaven and that they have 2 brothers, and they talk about them frequently.
We have their pictures right here in our kitchen. So we were walking past those pictures actually just the other day, and Isaiah was asking me, "Dad, is that Reed? And is that you and Mommy?" And so they'll ask about, about them. And so they're definitely a part of our family, and we want our boys, our twins, to know their older brothers.
The Eddings' remarkable story also inspired a documentary. The Eddings say they continue to be reminded how their outpouring of grace has touched the lives of others.
God uses our story, and He is working in people's hearts, and people are getting over bitterness and finding the ability to forgive others as well. And that's been really cool to hear those stories. The past few weeks, I've realized how good God is that I could live through the story of our car accident and the loss of our precious sons and be at a place today where I still can wake up and have joy and peace and hope.
Talk about an incredible family. This tragedy helped change the law. Shortly after the crash, the state legislature labeled fentanyl an impairing substance in any amount. And the district attorney established a new policy here known as the Eddings hours, requiring anyone involved in a fatal crash to have their blood drawn within 2 hours to test for impairment. Ann McAdams, WECT News.